Welcome to our video chat, Donkeys and Dragons, where we spend about 15 minutes chatting about a specific topic. Today, we're going to have highlights from Agile Testing Days, our first in-person conference in 2 years. I'm Janet Gregory.
I'm Lisa Crispin. And feeling charged up from that first in-person conference in so long.
I know. It's been an exciting month. First, the conference, and then we facilitated our very first course together. How awesome was that?
It was so great, Janet. And, I learned a lot. You've given it, almost a couple hundred times. And, picking up your facilitation tips and seeing how you get everybody engaged. And it's always really fun, again, even though that one was virtual. Just learning about how people work and getting their ideas as well. It's really inspiring.
Yeah. But today we're going to talk about Agile Testing Days. So it was fun talking with all the different people that we haven't seen in person for a long time. But let's talk about a tutorial first. We actually got to co-facilitate that. It was a full group, about 20 people.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with the level of experience and knowledge and skills of these people. And it's really interesting to think back of the early days of Agile Testing Days, and a lot of people were really just beginning their Agile journey. And now, as a community, we solved a lot of the problems together and figured out a lot of good practices and things. But of course, there's always more to overcome, and really exciting to see how people embrace new techniques to make more progress.
Yeah, for sure. But we also had a chance to reintroduce one of the tools that have been in our tool belt for a very long time, Wizard of Oz testing by Gerard Mazzaros. It fit in with our theme of holistic testing. And I think it really resonated with some people.
Yeah, such a simple way. We've always talked about, you could test feature ideas and designs even before you write any code, and seeing how effective it can be to do quite a low fidelity, paper user interface and test it together and see how customers really might use that and adjust before we've written the code. Yeah. It's really exciting.
Yeah, we also showed a few other people's tools that like Ashley Hansberger's test suite Canvas. I think that it's a great tool to really see how test suites fit into our pipeline.
Definitely a lot of different aspects of those to think about as well.
Yeah. And then there were the keynotes. And the rest of the talks.
Yeah. One of my favorite keynotes was João Proença's on cognitive biases, choices. Made us, as humans, we love having many choices, but that can get in our way. And he had a lot of, I love scientific studies, so he had a lot of data to back that up. And I could really see how it affects things on testing and how we focus our testing and how we focus on what risks we want to mitigate.
Right. And he talked about constraints too, that it forces us to be creative, right? Things, and to me, that I know in the idea of working with constraints for creativity, I've come across that idea before. For example, when I was doing a painting course, the instructor said, try limiting yourself to 4 paint colors and see what you can do, or maybe only 2. So that idea of constraints is a good one.
Yeah, you can do more with those smaller range of choices than if you were just like, oh, there are 50 colors here I could pick from.
Yeah, and we can use it in our testing, as you mentioned, things like exploratory testing, limiting the time boxing what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
One of the keynotes that really made me think, I guess, was the one by Eckstein. Eckstein. I don't know how you, Eckstein.
I think.
Sustainability in our products. She'll forgive us, I'm sure. But sustainability and thinking about the impact that our products actually have on the environment. I have never thought about that before.
Yeah, I really thought it was interesting because, we're question askers, and she's like, we need to ask some different questions. We need to change the conversation. How does our product, how does our business affect people? How does it affect, like you say, the environment, the planet? How does it affect economic well-being of people? And we really need to have that sort of social responsibility and be thinking it really reflects on things like diversity and inclusion.
Right. She also had, she called it Ecksteins Law, similar to Conway's Law, but slightly different.
Yeah, so it's her Ecksteins Law is an organization produces a design that reflects the organization's biases. And again, getting back to cognitive bias, and we have that at a personal level, but organizations have that too. And like Conway's Law, that's going to be reflected in our product, in our system, in our architecture.
Yeah, I had to think about that for a long time, but I totally believe that's true. Yeah, so one of the themes, I shouldn't call it a theme, I guess, but something that I saw kind of filter through many of the talks was, whether it was technical or not, was how we can actually improve diversity in our teams. Maybe listening more than talking. There was a couple of things that kind of filtered through all of the talks.
Yeah, just trying to find out what people really need. And especially maybe if people feel like, they're different from everybody else for some reason, for whatever reason, and we want to make them feel included. Let's listen to them. Let's ask them what we can do to help and listen to them. And I think that's really important. And, removing those gates in our hiring pipelines that are probably keeping out really talented and creative people that don't fit the mold.
True. Yeah, and even our products, so listening to our customers, what do they really want versus, because I've come across teams that they think they know what the customer wants, so they build it that way because they know better, but actually listening and understanding our customers. But there's also the individuals and teams, right?
Yeah.
Listening to them and how they want to be, well, everybody wants to be listened to, right?
Right. Yeah, I think that, I can go a lot of directions as it gets a bit back to self-organizing teams. How do teams feel that they can be the most effective? How can we support them?
True. Yeah. Another thing that I noticed in one of the keynotes, in our Agile testing principles, we talk about courage as one of them, right? And Marianne Umar, is that how I say her name, Umar?
Yeah, Marianne Umar, yeah.
I think she personified courage, right? When she got up on the stage and told us that she had been playing the guitar for only 2 months and sat down and played us some songs and then asked us, can you even tell what I played? I thought that was very courageous, way more courage than I would have. And it, to me, that just, I went, wow, right? Someday I'm going to have that kind of courage.
Well, I think you have it now, Janet, but yeah, we do need courage as testers. There's a lot of difficult things we have to do. And it was also her first keynote. So to do something that daring in your first keynote, I think it really caught people's attention and made them listen to her more, maybe.
There were some really good first keynotes today. I think that's one of the, or today, last week. I think that's one of the things that I like about Agile Testing Days. Listen to people who give a first talk, and then they give them opportunities to do that first keynote without having heard them do a keynote before. And there were some amazing ones, people just getting up on the stage and being themselves. I thought that was just amazing. Especially because it took me so many years to get up the courage to even give a track talk, let alone a keynote.
It's, it takes a unique combination of courage and talent and the diligence and discipline to practice, put together a really good, inspiring talk that makes
That's
people
true.
think, that makes people want to go out and learn something more, be somewhat entertaining, although I don't think that's the goal, but I think that helps get people engaged.
Yes.
And it's something I'm not terribly good at. I really admire it in others. And it is great to get new voices up on those stages.
It is. I think another thing that I appreciated about the conference as a whole is how the organizers went out of their way to make us feel comfortable and safe. We had to show our vaccination records before we were allowed in to the conference area, plus take a rapid test that showed we were, that went positive. No, we don't have COVID, right? We wore masks in and around the buffets. But they also gave us those rapid tests so we could test ourselves every other day or more often if we felt comfortable. And I think that was a really important part of this conference.
Well, it was a safe bubble that made us really feel comfortable being with people again, new experience, and really getting to connect in ways that we used to be used to and haven't been able to do in a while. And it just, the impact is just exponential, I think.
It is. It's kind of like a little bubble of wonder. Unicorn land, is that right? Yeah.
I think everybody really appreciated it. And again, just like every year with Agile Testing Days, the people, probably half the people at least, were brand new to the conference. And I always worry that, these old timers like us, will look like a clique and they won't feel welcome. But they invariably say, I felt connected and welcome right away, and just drawn in by everybody else. So that's a really special atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it's that atmosphere that, or the when you're at a table and you're sitting, you just make room for one more person, kind of thing, and it is a good thing. The other thing I appreciated was being able to see you again, Lisa.
It's been way too long.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mostly we chat like this, right? Yeah. So it was good to be in person.
And to have our husbands, and your husband gave a very special talk as well.
He did. I was a little worried.
It was hilarious. Tips for living with a tester? Is that what
something like that? Yeah. Except he didn't call them tips. He didn't call them rules. So he called them things because he didn't want to get in trouble.
It was very good. And my husband chipped in on his from the audience as well. So
of course. Yes. It was a lot of fun. It was. Anyhow, I think our 15 minutes is up.
I think so.
We'll share our contact information so that you get it and you can email us. We'd love to hear from you. If you feel like buying one of our books, feel free to do that. Don't have to.
Available in what did I say? 8 languages now?
8 languages.
German, the newest translation is just out.
So I'm so impressed with all these people that have been translating it.
And I'm sure that what ideas we've picked up from Agile Testing Days are going to turn into chats in the future.
I certainly hope so, and I expect so. So have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.